have almost completed all the theoretical portions of production planning and control. Now is the time to solve some numericals in order to refresh your memories as well as to strengthen it. So here we go. The first question goes, for a product, the forecast and the actual sales for the month of December 2019 are 25 and 20. If the exponential smoothing constant mu is taken as 0.2, you have to calculate the forecast sales for the month of January 2020. This numerical can be solved by the simple implementation of quantitative time series forecasting method that we have studied in the previous lecture. In the quantitative time series method of exponential smoothing, we have a formula which is Ft is equal to Ft minus 1 plus mu dt minus 1 minus Ft minus 1. Here Ft is nothing but the required forecasting. Ft minus 1 is the forecasting of the previous month, and dt minus 1 is the demand, or basically the actual demand of the previous month. And as we all know, mu is the exponential smoothing constant. So by putting all these values here, as we have Ft, which is the required forecasting, that is the month of January that we have to calculate for the month of January 2020. Ft minus 1 is given as 25 and dt minus 1 is given as 20, as well as the exponential smoothing constant mu is given as 0.2. Putting all these values all together here, we get the forecasting for the month of January 2020 as 24. Next question. The sales of a product during the last 4 years were 860, 880, 870 and 890. The forecast for the 4th year was 876 units. Now, if the forecast for the 5th year using simple exponential smoothing is equals to the forecast using a 3-period moving average method, you have to calculate the value of exponential smoothing constant mu. Now what is given in this particular question? We have sales of a product during 4 years, that is 860, 880, 870 and 890 units, and the forecast that has been calculated by the forecasting team on the 4th year as 876 units. And here a condition is given. In this particular statement you can see, if the forecast for the 5th year using exponential smoothing method is equals to the forecast using a 3-period moving average method, that means the forecast for the 5th year using the quantitative time series exponential smoothing method is equivalent to moving average method. So this gives us the link to solve the question. So we will first find the moving average method and we will forecast the 5th year. And here 3-period moving average is given, that's why we are going to take only the previous 3 periods, that is 880, 870 and 890 units. So from this we get F5, or the forecast for the 5th year, as 880 plus 870 plus 890 by 3. Now we will calculate the exponential smoothing method with constant mu, and we will try to find the forecast of the 5th year, which will be given by 876, that means your Ft minus 1, just like in the last question we have understood, which is what, 876 plus mu 890, that is the forecast of the previous month or previous year basically in this particular question, minus 876. This gives mu as 2 by 7. Next question. For a canteen, the actual demand for disposable cups was 500 units in January, 600 units in February. The forecast for the month of January was 400 units. You have to calculate the forecast for the month of March considering the smoothing coefficient or mu as 0.75. It's been already asked in GATE examination, and it's again a very simple implementation of exponential smoothing or quantitative time series forecasting method. Now what is given here? Demand for the month of January as 500 units, demand for the month of February as 600 units, and the forecast for the month of January as 400 units. As well as we have the exponential smoothing coefficient as 0.75. Now we don't have the forecast for the month of February, which would be very much required to find the forecast for the month of February, because as we know from the formula, forecast is given by the previous period forecast plus mu into demand of the previous month minus forecast of the previous month or the previous period. Hence, forecast of February has to be find out first. So it would be given by forecast of January plus mu into demand of January minus forecast of January. Putting all the values here, we get forecast for the month of February as 475 units. And hence we can find out very easily the forecast for the month of March. So that would be given by forecast of the month of February plus mu into demand of month of February minus forecast of month of February. Putting all the values here, we get 569 units as the forecast of March.